Hey folks, this is Kyle Keo with a new training video. I just wanted to post something up from today's training. Do have to go back in tomorrow and deadlift, and I'll be doing 5 sets of 3 with my heaviest deadlifts for this training cycle. So I decided I would post the squat and bench press training that I did for today. This is definitely the hardest training week that I've had thus far, and this will hit me at about the midpoint of my preparation for Raw Unity 8. For this particular session, I had 4 work sets on squat and on bench press. I actually only ended up doing 3 on bench press, but I'll get to that in just a second. For the squat, I did 370 pounds for 4 sets of 7. That went, I think, fairly well. I definitely do feel pretty tight now and pretty fatigued from the training cycle, but I was still able to get through the sets okay, and I didn't struggle too terribly badly on any of the sets. I could tell that by the third and the fourth set I was definitely starting to fatigue, but I was pretty happy ultimately with what my bar lifts and my bar speed looked like on at least the first 2 sets, and I felt like I was able to sustain that pretty well. 370 for a set of 7 is definitely close to a previous rep max for me, and so this was definitely a difficult session. It's not one that I think I've done before. 370 pounds for 28 total reps over the course of 4 sets or something like that. That's a pretty tall order for me. So I was pretty happy ultimately with how it went. I was happy ultimately with the fact that I was able to maintain pretty good technique. I did break down towards the end of some of these sets, but was still able to stay fairly upright on a lot of my reps, and was able to generate pretty good bar speed on a lot of my reps. After this training week, I am going to get a deload, and so I'm really looking forward to that. I do have 4 more sets on squat this week, and it'll again be 370 pounds for 4 more sets of 7. For my bench pressing, which I'll show you in just a little bit, I was supposed to do 245 for 4 sets of 10. I did the first 2 sets of 10, and on the 3rd set, after the 9th rep, I felt like the 10th was going to be a real grinder. And I'm just not at a point yet where I really want to be going through too many grindy reps on any of my lifts. So what I decided I'd do is I just shut it down. I got in 29 bar lifts for the day. I'll supplement some extra bar lifts for the next session that I do. My plan for this week was to hit, I think, somewhere on my bench around 80 bar lifts. So I'll supplement with some extra bar lifts, and what I'll do is I'll keep the intensity the same, but I'll bring the actual number of reps down. I'll probably take it down to something like, I don't know what an appropriate number would be, but something like 6 or 7 rep sets, probably 7 rep sets, something that I can sustain for a good 50 bar lifts or so. So it'll probably end up being 245 for 7 sets of 7 or something close to that, but I don't know that for sure. I'm just going to have to see how the session goes and take some time just to think about it. I feel pretty good overall coming out of this training cycle. My bench press definitely is down a little bit, but it's not down too much, and it's certainly not down from the last meet I did. I would say that it's down from when it was at its strongest, when I was benching 340, but I don't think it's down necessarily from the last meet, which is good. My squat is going to come out well ahead on this training cycle, and my deadlift is going to come out well ahead, and so while I'm really looking forward to the deload week, and while I feel like I really need that recovery time to take the next step over the course of this training cycle, I do feel like some really good work has been done over the last 8 weeks, and I'm really proud of that. Overall, I feel like I have a lot of room to grow on my bench press. While the strength off my chest isn't fantastic, what I do know is that my pec has finally healed, and it took about 8 weeks, but I can finally start training just my wide grip regularly, and my hope is that over the next month and a half, the next 6 weeks before the end of the year, I'm able to put some pounds on my bench. I like to get it a good 5 or 10 pounds stronger, and then have a good training cycle leading up to the meet. Anyway, keep checking in, more videos for you very soon.